In this week's episode of Working with Work, keep it simple, stupid. Hello and welcome to episode 38 of my Working with Work series. My name is Carl Pauline, and in this week's episode I need to return to the subject of simplicity. This week, as I've been reading the comments on this channel and also quite a few of the comments on my online courses, comments have been left by students, what I've noticed is there is an awful trend towards over-complication. Now, productivity is not difficult. Basically, productivity is all about having a calendar that tells you where you need to be and when, and possibly with who. A to-do list manager that tells you what needs to be done. And a notes application that's going to tell you all the information that you actually need in order to get the job done. And of course, these days we can use cloud-based storage, which will enable us to keep the files that we're working on in a nice, simple, convenient place that we can access from any of the many devices that most of us have today. And yet, I keep reading over and over and over again. I even read blog posts about this as well. They come into my inbox. Basically, what I'm seeing is people are trying to create systems where they hope or believe or think your to-do list manager will do the work for you. Well, guys, that is never, ever, ever going to happen. We do not live in that world yet. Now, of course, in the future, with machine learning and artificial intelligence and augmented reality, maybe in 50 or 60 years' time, that might become a reality. But when that day does happen, you basically no longer have a job, because obviously your computers are doing it for you. You're unemployed. So you don't actually want that to happen. You'd be crazy if you did. But what I'm trying to tell you is this. With your calendar, all that needs to go on your calendar are events, things that you need to remember. For example, today, I'm recording this on a Friday, so actually tomorrow, my favourite rugby team is playing in the grand final against Castleford Tigers. That's in my calendar because I do want to keep a track of the grand final result. It's an event. Now, I don't have to be there, but I have it in an all-day event. I have a meeting on Monday morning at 7:30. That's in my calendar, and it also tells me where I need to be. That's it. I don't need anything else in my calendar. I just need events, appointments, and people I'm supposed to be meeting when and where. My to-do list manager is full of tasks that need doing. Things like clean my boots. Okay, a very simple one. Or, for example, take a pair of trousers in for repairing. Or, for example, continue writing on my book. Or, for example, continue working on my time and life mastery workbook. Oops, that's a secret. Don't tell anyone. But that's what it's telling me to do. It's not doing the work for me. The context or label, if you're using Todoist, just tells me where I need to be or what I need to have with me in order to get that work done. So, for example, continue writing my book has the label iPad or computer, and continue working on my time and life mastery workbook coming soon. I need a computer to do that because I'm doing that in InDesign. So it has a label of computer. But I'm not expecting Todoist, I think you all know that I use Todoist, to do that work for me. All it's telling me is what I need to get done. Now, I do add a few tasks. I've got my routines in there. For example, Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday is garbage day. And sure enough, in my to-do list manager, I have take out garbage on a Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Todoist is not going to take the garbage out for me. It's just going to tell me that needs to be done on that day. I can then make a decision whether or not I need to take the garbage out. So for example, yesterday was Thursday. I did look at the garbage can and there wasn't enough in there for me to take it out. So it will survive till Sunday, no problem. That was a decision. So what basically my to-do list manager is doing is allowing me to make a decision based on what needs to be done. And that's it. Todoist isn't going to make the decision for me. Neither is my calendar. It's not going to make the decision for me. I have to make that decision. And we are not living in a world where the technology is going to make that decision for you. You still have to make that decision. So there's no need for you to start coming up with complex contexts or labels. There's no need for you to start adding dates to absolutely everything, because if it doesn't need to be done by a specific time, don't put a date on it. Just get to it when it needs to be done. Now, there may be a time when something that doesn't have a date today may need a date because suddenly it becomes urgent. Just add the date when it needs to be done. And that is it. Your notes, again, at least I notice with note-taking applications, people are not overcomplicating that. And to be honest, I think with note-taking applications, I do think that is more of a personal taste, and it's basically the way that your brain will work. Some of us think linearly like I do. Others need to sketch things out and create wonderful mind maps, which has never really worked for me, but I know it works for many, many other people. So notes, I think, is a very personal thing, and it doesn't really matter so much how complicated that is. But again, even with notes, it really, the key with notes is being able to find the notes when you need them. So if you come up with an overly complicated tagging system, then of course you're not going to be able to find it 10 years later or 5 years later or even 1 year later, because it's just too complicated. So if you're using something like Evernote where you have a tagging system, don't overcomplicate your tags, just keep them simple. There's plenty of examples out there for tagging, and simplicity is the key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the note section below to a couple of videos that I would recommend, because they are just brilliant on keeping things simple. But seriously guys, stop overcomplicating it. Stop overthinking the problem. A to-do list manager just has the tasks. You need to make the decision on a daily basis what you are going to work on. End of story. Stop trying and get your to-do list manager, your calendar and your notes to do the work for you. It is not going to happen. Anyway guys, thank you for listening to this rant. If you like this video, please click on the like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all a very, very productive week.